A weird relationship between internet personalities and, shall we say, the internet and the algorithms and the nature of cops and police. It's creating a bad name for car people. We see you. What do you want to be known for? What's up, people? Today I want to talk about cops, police, and the relationship that automotive YouTubers generally have with people of law enforcement, as well as generally how the internet portrays cops. The reason being is, obviously I spent the last couple of years having the opportunity to be a VinWiki personality, tell a lot of stories, meet a lot of people who are also other internet personalities, both on VinWiki as well as elsewhere. And of course I have this YouTube channel, which is growing, and it's a decent size right now. And of course, being a car guy, racer, motorcycle rider, and general hooligan at times, I've been around a time or two. I've met cops, got a couple of friends that are cops, obviously been pulled over a reasonable amount of times in a motor vehicle in the past, although I happily maintain a very clean driving license and record. And no, not because I throw around big lawyers, but because I generally don't like to do stupid and or illegal things in a car, or in general. But I have noticed in this amount of time a weird relationship between internet personalities and, shall we say, the internet and the algorithms and the nature of cops and police. Now, I realize that 2020 has been a horrific year, so I would like it if we could please leave out the aspects of that with police. Just don't. If you're gonna go on some crazy political, social tirade outside of what I'm trying to talk about, I'm just gonna delete the comments because I don't want this to go the wrong way. What I really wanna talk about today is the nature of automotive YouTubers and cops. And the reason I'm making this video, and I'm just gonna call a spade, and I thought long and hard about how I'm gonna talk about this because I'm not trying to pick a fight, but frankly, the way Daily Driven Exotics has been portraying their interactions with police officers, I got a problem with as a person, as a car guy, and frankly, as a YouTuber. And I'm not gonna call it out because I'd like to think, you know, Damon and everybody there, all right, guys. But I think the problem here that I want to discuss and how I came to see this has to do with the nature of the internet and the algorithms out there. Because something that's negative about police or law enforcement or civilization, politics, businesses, corporations, always does much better than anything that is remotely reasonable or positive, even if it's entertaining and good to watch. And I saw that way back when I did I've told a lot of stories on VinWiki, better part of 40, and that's given me a fairly good feel of what the internet likes, you know, the algorithm, tags, how you title it, thumbnails, whether something's really click-through rates, all that, and then of course with doing my own channel and seeing it. And I told a story about a really cool ride-along I went on with a police officer one time. It was a good story. It had action. It had some funny parts. Maybe it wasn't my absolute best story I told, just by nature of the mechanics of a story, but it was still a good story. And what was amazing was it got crap for views. But then I noticed there's a number of stories that came out along a similar time that talked about how, like, you know, it like overly glamorized cops being negative, like corrupt cops, or cops were doing this, or flexing their authority in the wrong way, or we were doing this, or speeding, and we were running for the law, all that kind of crap. And they got a huge amount of views. And they weren't even very good stories. So I got to thinking about that and talking to people, and the internet does favor negative stories towards police, which is one somewhat telling of human nature, but also I think is frankly a problem with the internet and internet organizations, and I'll be honest, YouTube, because we live in a civilization and society of which law enforcement is an integral and important part of that. And if you're gonna write horrific comments right now, don't and wait, okay? Law enforcement and having people that can effectively protect the civility of our nation, our world, is important. As we start to learn, especially from this year, it doesn't take much to break down the fabric of civilization. And civilization is something that it's taken humankind eons, I mean, absurd amounts of time to create. So it's obviously something worth protecting and keeping. I have a problem with the internet basically being like a stick poking a bear all the time. The bear being a metaphor, obviously. Because there needs to be a certain amount of responsibility from the internet and algorithms to not just create civil unrest and destroy. I don't have control over that. That's only something we can talk about. Now, the internet can just say, oh, well, it's human nature. We just give people what we want because we want them watching our stuff longer so we can make more money. Ooh, that's a problem. It does exist out there with media in general, social media, that they want to keep people watching and glued, and negative crap sells more. Sells more. It makes them more powerful to get more money. That's a problem because that's no longer helping society, and that is literally capitalizing off things going bad. And I think you guys have heard of or seen stories, sci-fis, books, fiction, where maybe we don't have enough news. Let's just create a war so we have something to talk about. It's cheaper and easier. I mean, this kind of stuff happens in a big scale. And I see it in a small way, again, in the automotive world and automotive YouTubers, of how automotive YouTubers can just screw with cops and kind of know where the line is, where they can just be smiley, smarmy jerks, you know, like ankle-biting dogs, to try to look cool and get views. I don't appreciate it as a person, obviously, as somebody who runs organizations or businesses or knows people. I just don't like it because it's breaking down society a little bit. But I don't appreciate it as a car guy because it just even if you forget about views and everything, it's creating a bad name for car people. If somebody with a massive voice on the internet is making videos, whether doing something innocent or not, you're jacking with cops. And you are capitalizing on that in views, in monetization, etc., just playing around and messing around. It's not setting a good standard, and it's not even remotely being a role model, and you're not helping. I like some aspects of Daily Driven Exotics, but I made it so I don't see everything. And they were even nice enough to share one of my VinWiki stories, so I really appreciate that. But I found it pretty vulgar and disgusting seeing these smarmy things, because a lot of young people watch that. And you know, when you sit there all smiling about like Lambo owners doing stupid crap and just messing with cops, and then they get pulled over and they have this big crap-eating smile on their face like this because they know exactly what lawyers, how to get out of things and ask everything to just work it with cops, you're just wasting time and setting a bad example for people in general. I know all the tricks you're using to get out of tickets or do it, and it's kind of gross. Watching people with a smile, it's like, oh, I don't know, officer, what'd you do to calibrate your thing? Did you do that? How'd you see it? Oh, did you get on a radar LiDAR? Did you get it from a helicopter? Did you do this? Did you see how fast I was going? What's going on? What's your bad number? Did you calibrate that recently? Shut up. You're speeding, you're jacking with cops on purpose. Get over yourself. Because you're gonna screw it up for all of us car people. You're gonna ruin this for everybody. And I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. And I know this is negative, and generally speaking, YouTubers can't like critique or criticize things like that, but there's a certain personal responsibility for having a voice. I don't like automotive YouTubers jacking with cops with their stupid fast cars because it's going to ruin it for everybody. You're wasting the cops' time and you're making them look bad, and frankly, they've got a shitty job that they have to do for the nature of civility. You know what? Screw you people in your exotic cars jacking with cops. Every goddamn they go out there nervous as having to be on guard all the time because they don't know if they're going to get shot at any given moment, and people don't like them, partially in part due to stupid videos like this on the internet, and it's freaking hard. You know what the life expectancy of a cop is just from the stress alone? You know, just screw you. Screw the people screwing with cops. Get a goddamn life. Like, I'd like to be more positive, and you know what? If this loses me some subscribers, I don't care. because I intend to have a future in this country, in this world, as a car guy, and I don't like automotive YouTubers jacking with cops. Just because the stupid internet algorithm favors negative things towards police doesn't mean that we, as automotive people, should feed into that and let it be. Find a good reason to get good views, not that. Because at the very least, you're just going to be known for being an ankle-biting, antagonizing jackass. You know, 2020 is a rough year for all of us. But there's no reason to make it more horrible for zillions of cops out there that are just trying to do their job so we can all live together a little bit easier. Like, it's not fair and it's not right. And at the very least, I think it should just be known for automotive YouTubers, if you are capitalizing off of doing illegal things or jacking with cops, everybody sees it. So let's say your YouTube career is over. You know, like, do you think everybody's going to want to work with you? These 13-year-old kids, 18-year-old kids, 25-year-old college, whatever. If they're watching you and they finally grow up, you think they're going to look at you and admire you because you got a lot of views, or just say, you know, that guy was kind of a douche? I'm just not really okay with that. And if you go out and you're messing with cops and you just basically make a career out of driving illegally all the time, and then you just like suddenly do one thing that's pro-police or pro-law enforcement, or like go to one charity fundraiser, that doesn't make it okay. You don't get to self-promote just doing that and think you're a magical, positive person. It doesn't make it that. So I guess I'll leave it with this. So I always like to extrapolate possibilities in life and civilization. So think about this. Let's say there were no cops and you could just do whatever you wanted. What would society become quickly? And let's just say that it didn't go completely horror show and that people did what they had to do to maintain some kind of law and order and protection of others. Then think of it like this. Police go through training and know acceptable levels to stop others from doing things they shouldn't or that are really bad. The general civilian populace, if they come in and want to stop something, they don't know boundaries. They don't know limits. I think we need to stop screwing with cops. And I think we need to stop feeding into the internet algorithm being positive. Because I would rather tell a positive story and be a creative person and get a few less views than just a giant world antagonistic jerk that gets higher views. Because the fact of the matter is, we see you. What do you want to be known for? That's it, guys. Call me a bootlicker if you want, but I actually give a damn about society and our nation and civility and creating something for the future. What do you care about? See you guys next time.